Hi, Phil Aston here from Now Spinning Magazine with the October 2023 update. And October is going to be a great month. I just know it is, just by the sheer fact of all the things I'm going to be covering on the channel and on the website during the next few weeks. And I also want to say, first of all, thank you to all of you who've recently come on board. We've just crossed over the 9,000 subscribe mark on the YouTube channel, 150,000 odd visits for the website. The private Facebook community is also great guns. And in fact, on all of our social channels, there's more and more people coming on board to support Now Spinning Magazine and get involved as well. The kind of intent behind this project, which is still relatively new, was to try and find other people like myself who liked collecting music, who still bought CDs and records, and to be able to talk to them about what you'd recently discovered, what kind of things you really loved, and just the sheer joy that recorded music brings us. And I don't just mean the music itself, I mean the actual act of collecting and having the physical stuff around you, like I have behind me. Because I know that many of you have said you thought you were the only ones out of your peer group that still bought physical music, with so many people who be saying, oh, you still collect CDs or you still buy records, why don't you just stream everything? The thing is, many of us do stream, that's how we discover stuff, but we go that little bit further to help support the artist by actually buying the item itself. And as I've said many times, for a lot of us, just having a record or a box set near us without even playing it makes such a difference. And how music, one of my kind of taglines is that music is the healer and the doctor, and I do a series on music and mental health. And I've realised, even from the kind of people I've spoken to in my podcasts, like Steve Hackett and Carl Dixon, how much that is true, how music really does make a difference. And so that is what this channel and the website is all about, is celebrating physical music and the effect that music has on our lives. And as it becomes the soundtrack to everything, like an oral painting in the background, whatever we do in our lives, it is an art form. It is the way that all of us create and curate an art collection that's unique to us as individuals. And so Now Spinning Magazine is multi-format. It's not just focused on one format like CD or vinyl. Anything can be covered. I am multi-format man, and many of the people that subscribe are also the same. And also, it's not specific to one genre. So I cover all types of music here. I grew up with rock music. But I always wanted this to be like Sounds magazine in the UK, which would have, it was more focused on rock and metal, but it also had features on soul and funk and jazz, etc. So that's the kind of way I view it. So you will see all sorts of music featured here. Right, I'm going to quickly flash through the things that I'm going to be covering this month, and I'm also going to talk about how you can support me at the end of this video, and how you will see everything that I'm going to feature. You'll see first, and you'll also see some outtakes plus exclusive material that only goes out to patrons and YouTube members. So first of all, let's dive in and see what it is I'm going to be talking about and reviewing and showing you in the next few weeks. The first thing, which will be going out to patrons very, very soon, is an overview of Deep Purple's Fireball album. People have been asking me to do this for a while, and in fact there might be two this month, but I've done similar things with Men in Japan and in Rock, etc., and Burn, and there's probably others. Come Taste the Band. But Fireball was an overlooked classic gem, and there's a huge overview looking back at my personal memories, what I bought, and my collection to do with Fireball, going out really, really soon. Staying in the Purple camp, which I do dip into on a fairly regular basis, as many of you know, will be the special gold edition of Whitesnake's Purple album. Now, I like this. I know some people kind of were very critical of it, but this is a new, remixed, revisited, enhanced version. So I'm going to be playing that to see exactly what is different than the version that came out in 2015. The next album I'm going to be reviewing is going to be Paul Rodgers, his first solo album in a absolute long time. It's a Gatefold Sleep, Midnight Rose. I went for the vinyl version, and I'm going to hope to talk to Paul soon. It's great album, but I'll give you a track-by-track review of this album this month. Steely Dan, Aja. I've never owned this on vinyl before. I've got it on CD and in a box set, but I'm going to be talking about the quality of the vinyl, what it sounds like, and just reminiscing about this record from 1977, wasn't it? Well-Water Conspiracy Declaration. In fact, Declaration of Conformity is the name of the album. This came out in 1997, and it features people from Soundgarden and Pearl Jam actually revisiting and recreating the 60s. So I actually could say, if you're a fan of the Electric Prunes and Iron Butterfly, but I shall give you a separate review of that. Box sets. There's one vinyl box set that I'm reviewing this month. I hesitated then because there might be another one, but this is the only one that's sitting on my desk at the time of doing this video. Is Winger. And one of my favourite bands from that period, this is, I think, when is it? 1988 to 1993. This is Volume 1. It's the 4-album box set from BMG of the Atlantic years. I'm going to be going through this. It includes an album of demos and outtakes. And for people thinking, what about the CD? I should be reviewing the CD box set as well. So that's on its way. Still in the world of vinyl, I reviewed this on CD not that long ago, Back to the Blues by Gary Moore. So I'm going to look at that and go through a track-by-track analysis and also look at the vinyl quality and the pressing. An artist that I really was hoping to interview for the podcast, and it still might happen, but she's on tour with her husband Derek at the time of me talking, is Susan Tedeschi. And Just Won't Burn has been reissued, 25th anniversary edition on Fantasy Records, gatefold sleeve. I'm going to go through that. I've got this on CD, but the vinyl version is fantastic. So I'll give a full review of that as well. Classic album stuff. A lot of you have been saying you like my reviews when I kind of dip into the world of Paul Kossoff and Free and Bad Company, and I'm slowly working my way through those albums. And the reason why it takes so long is because whenever I talk about some artists, Paul Kossoff is one of them, they are almost like emotionally draining because it takes me back to when I first discovered them. And the album I'm going to feature, and actually this was the doorway into this world for me, is The Free Story. I'll touch on a couple of different versions of this that came out around the world, but primarily just talk about what it's like when I discovered it, where I bought it from, and the tracks as well, and what they mean to me and still do. Still in the world of Purple and classic albums, I'm hoping also to do a proper overview of the Made in Europe tapes and different versions of this album you can find. I should have reviewed this when it came out, but it got pushed to one side because of everything else that's going on. Jethro Tull, Rock Plot. I'm going to look at that at last. That's the vinyl version. Mirror to the Sky by Yes. I still haven't covered this because I'm still being... When I review things, I like to know the music, and I didn't feel as if I knew this well enough to talk about it, really. So this is the CD and surround sound version. I'm going to look at that. In the world of box sets, trying to think what's around me, Barclay James Harvest and Baby James Harvest. I reviewed the Esoteric box set for Once Again, and this is the same style and it's superb. And this, I'm going to be doing a full unboxing review and overview of the music and what's included as well. Let's just put that somewhere safe. Also Broadsword of the Beast by Jethro Tull, and again I've done every single Jethro Tull deluxe edition, and that's a huge playlist, but this will be added very, very soon once I've waded through a lot of the discs, because there are so many of them. And I'll also show you how to get the discs out without destroying the box, which I know some of you will be interested in. What about box sets that have gone, but I wish I could find them again, or is it worth seeking them out on eBay or Discogs? Yeah, there's one of those. And I know that one of my patrons will probably fall off his seat now when he sees I'm going to cover this. And it is Mental Train by Mott the Hoople. It's been a while since I said I was going to cover this, but there's so much music in it. And I just want to make sure I do again, a good job on it. I love Mock the Hoople and Lean Hunter, as you know, but that's because it's disappearing fast, this, and it's very, very good. In fact, if it came out now, it'd probably be about 3 times the price that it arrived at. What else? The Runaways, Cherry Red 5 CD box set. I'm going to cover that and give you an overview as well. DBA, Celestial Songs. I interviewed both of the guys for the Now Spinning Magazine podcast, and this is a review of the album. Also, while I'm thinking about podcasts, the rock band Tempt from New York, I interviewed them, and this is an autographed copy of their album, which I bought from their Bandcamp page. Support new rock music. This is brilliant. Full review of that coming up. An older band, but again connected to the Now Spinning Magazine podcast, is Stray. I interviewed Del Bromham for nearly a 2-hour session. I'm going to talk to him again about this new album, which is one of the best albums in their catalogue. Seriously, this has got more Purple-esque hippish moments than you might imagine. It's absolutely brilliant. Another album that I don't feel I've absorbed enough to talk about is Doris Brendel and Pigs Might Fly. So I'll review that as well. Crabby Appleton even, from the Elektra label. This is on the Grapefruit record label, also part of Cherry Red, reviewing that. The Doors, 3 CD set from The Matrix. That's coming along. Danny Bryant, who's a blues rock singer. I'm going to be interviewing him very, very soon for the podcast. Great album. I've got various albums by Saxon to review, which I haven't even got round to playing yet, but June the month, that is the plan. What else is lying around me? I've had this for a while, and you can pick this up as a bargain from eBay. This is absolutely stunning box set from Elton John, and this Madman Across the Water has become more famous because of Tiny Dancer being in the film Almost Famous. I think, Elton said himself when he released his best of, he had to make room for Tiny Dancer because this album has taken on a life of its own, and this is just exceptional. So I'll go through the whole of that as well. Joni Mitchell, the Archives Volume 3 box set. I shall be going through that. And there's one I want to finish on, but there's so many things still around me I want to talk about. Another new band is Vantage Point, new rock band. I'm going to be looking at that album as well. What else? And I forgot, what is it? Oh yes, books. I've done a few books, haven't I? I've done the Def Leppard book and the Rainbow visual biography, and Ian Gillan. Well, there's more. And some of these feature one of my favourite guests I have on my show, who is Martin Popoff. And so I've got Emerald, Thin Lizzy's Golden Period by Martin to review. Blue Oyster Cult, Dominance and Submission, which is his new book, goes through every track from every album. Dire Straits, visual biography. Nazareth. And last but not least, but it does segue into where I want to kind of almost finish this broadcast, is Hawkwind. And the reason why it's a good place to land is I'm also going to be reviewing this Space Ritual Hawkwind, an 11-disc, 10 CD, 1 Blu-ray disc of the whole tour. It's a bit like Made in Japan's 3 Nights being released, Thin Lizzy's Live and Dangerous, and I've managed to track down a copy, so I'll be sure to be reviewing that as well, or UFO Stranger in the Night, etc. This is the Hawkwind version from Cherry Red. It's superb. I shall go through the whole thing and talk about the remastering, the remixing, the Blu-ray, etc., the book, show you everything. So that's coming up very, very soon as well. And also, there's a nice little book called Lucky Leopard, being put together from a absolutely avid train spotterish fan of Def Leppard, and I'll give you an overview of that. I've just got a couple of other things that are worth mentioning. I'm going to look at a band called Clive Carroll. The band I'm trying to reference is Pentangle. This is his tribute to John Redbourne, the guitarist. And if you're into Pentangle, and some of the members of Pentangle are on this is a literally 2 hours of beautiful music over 2 CDs. So I'm going to do a review of that as well. Rose Tiger, a new band for me. I'm going to be looking at that. And also Grace Gravity, I'm going to be looking at that as well. It's a new album. And is there anything else that's lurking around? There is. And one more from Australia. I've shown this briefly before, but it's a beautiful album, Busker's Dog, as well. So all of those things are coming up. And as I said, I want to do my best to support new music, but also talk about classic albums every home should have. Ranking videos, are there any of those coming up? Yes. Where's the UFO ranking video? It's in production, but I keep changing my mind on which order the ones out of the top 4 go. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Podcasts are going really well. I've got some great guests coming up. I've got Yuli John Roth, which will be going out very, very soon to patrons and YouTube members. Thank you for all your comments about the Steve Hackett podcast. The podcast is going so well, and I've got some great guests coming up, but I can't mention them until they're absolutely finalised. And finally, I just want to say thank you to all of you who do support me as a patron or YouTube member. You really are making a difference to how this project is growing and being part of the success. It really is making a difference. You know, we're heading towards 10,000 subscribers, 150,000 visits a month on the website, and the online community for Facebook. The fact it's so safe, friendly, and that you've got like-minded people around the world discovering new music. It's just wonderful to see. And for those of you who do support me, and you can stop at any time, you can start and just have a free trial and see what you think. You will see all of my videos and all of my reviews before they go out to the general public. That's on Patreon or the YouTube, or being a YouTube member. You can also buy me a coffee from Ko-fi or make a donation. All these things make a difference. You also have access to exclusive videos that don't get made public as well, and plus behind the scenes stuff, as I talk about sometimes my album of the day, which is a new thing. And also I shall be featuring stuff that gets sent to me from PR companies or record companies, so you'll get early alerts to new stuff that's being released as well, which is exclusive to my patrons and supporters. So thank you for watching this update, and thank you for being part of the Now Spinning Magazine journey. It's fantastic. It really, really is. Thank you for all of your comments and your likes and your emails, etc. It's wonderful to hear from all of you. So please make sure you subscribe or share or tell everyone it's about Now Spinning Magazine. Remember, music is the healer and the doctor. So stay safe, everybody. Keep spinning those discs, and I shall see you all very, very soon.